What's happening, everybody? How are you doing out there this evening on July the 5th? So hopefully everybody's had a safe and happy July 4th holiday, and I'm hoping you're enjoying your weekend. I decided to pop in because it's too goddamn hot out there, and I felt like doing a little content. And in case you don't know, I am Lee Black. I'm the host of Real Talk for Real Men. We usually air every Saturday at this time, but we are on a month hiatus, giving the whole family a break and letting everybody get into their summer, get into the heat of things. And so I'm going to be coming to you through the course of the month, doing my own little individual thing. And I'm just going to be talking about whatever comes into this brilliant mind of mine. Now, my family have been invited, but they do, in fact, have the whole month off, but they are always invited to my content. Anytime I'm live, they are there as well. And I have my brother from another already waiting in the wings. So I am so happy to bring on Mr. Kendrick Sport Hustle himself. What's happening, partner?
What's up, my good brother? Happy Saturday to you. How you doing, Goody?
Yes, happy Saturday to you as well. How was your 4th, my brother?
Man, you know I don't celebrate the 4th of July, LIE. I don't give a dish about that because in 1776, our people wasn't free. So why are we celebrating that day? But hey, let me say this. If your company give you the day off and it's paid, you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
As I do enjoy it. But as far as me posting red, white, and blue and all that, no, sir. I'm not
This
doing
is why
that.
This is my brother from another, because we share that same thought. Look, this was a day off from corporate America for me. So I took it. I'll take any more you want to give me. Having said that, I'm with you, my brother, that I don't feel free and emancipated in any kind of damn way. But
right.
I have enjoyed the time off. So I am enjoying doing nothing. And so in the area I live in, I haven't heard that many fireworks. So I'm happy to be off. And thank you for joining me, man. You know, I just felt like doing a little bit of content because right now I don't have much of a social life. I got a couple of trips coming up, but ultimately, anybody who knows me knows I hate this time of year. I hate the weather. I hate the heat, so
I know.
I know.
I know.
In either case, this is why I felt like, I don't have anything else to do, because I actually got off on Thursday. So I've been off since Thursday. So I really have slept all day Thursday, all day yesterday. So my energy level kicked in today.
Yeah, right.
And I wanted to do something. So what are we talking about? I'm calling this entire month my Thinking Out Loud series.
Okay.
And I am going to be popping in. I do my best to try to pop in on a regular basis to stay in contact with, my viewers and just give them something to look at. But this is just shit that's coming directly to me. So I don't normally expect to see the family as a group, but I've always extended the invitation. So thank you for coming on, my brother, for sure.
Oh, again, I got you, because we this is our trial run.
This is,
we'll talk about that later on.
Absolutely. So I'm so glad that you said yes, because hopefully before this year ends, there will be something special in store with me and my brother to do our own little thing on the side to build another platform. So this will give you a taste of what that could look like. So what's the topic I'm talking about? Kenny, I read, my brother. I'm constantly looking at different things that come my way. And I ran across an article, and it really made me want to talk about it. I ran across an article where they interviewed a series of women through this survey. It was a Reddit survey. And they interviewed over 500 women. They didn't say race. They didn't say age. Well, I didn't even look that far into it. But the survey was about, they asked women to share some subtle and unexpected things that men have done that gets them hot and bothered.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So this gonna be good.
It drew me in. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And I was like, well, let me see what this is talking about. So I wanted to kind of just go through these, and obviously we don't have any women. So this is the male's perspective for anybody who watching this and to come back and watch this. We're going to talk about this from another perspective. We may get somebody to pop in. Sherry's off doing her thing. Tasha's doing her. I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, this is going to be the male's point of view.
You are in the mail room.
You are in the mail. Brother Kendrick and Lee Black. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So before I get into this list, I just want to kind of get your point of view. You know, when you hear that, and especially talk about subtle things that we do, because, and the reason why this was so fascinating, well, before I tell you why it's fascinating to me, when you hear that, my brother, what does it make you think of when we think about all the stuff that's going on, that women are sharing some subtle things that men do, that we do, that unexpected things that they were saying that get them hot and bothered?
Man, this is you know how you always say when topics come up when we on TFG tonight, it's so organic.
Right.
This topic you just talking about is so organic because of conversations I've had the last couple of days. And I think we can only speak from a male perspective. I think one of the things that I've learned that women say that actually gets them hot and bothered when it comes to a man is that we pay attention. We pay attention to what they're saying, and we remember things that we've talked about in conversations from different things, and that kind of gets them like, oh man, that dude, I'm feeling him a little bit. I'm feeling a little bothered. So that's definitely one thing that I can say that I think that women gets them hot and bothered. Again, like you say, we're not women, but I think I've heard this from numerous women that a man that pays attention, it goes a long way.
Absolutely, I agree with you 1,000%. And last Saturday's show, when we got into this long debate about whether Waffle House was an acceptable first date, I still to this moment I can't process it. And
it's not, brother. It's not.
and so, and that's the thing. So, but it made me think in this context that there are things we do intentional or even sometimes unintentionally that could have such an impact from the way a woman sees it. And we know all the time that
that's true.
They see things so differently than we do. So that's why this list was so fascinating. So because even on TFG Tonight with Brenton Haynes, we got a sister on there, and she's very vocal and share with our sisters about things that they need to be intentional about. So as we go through this list, I want to obviously just kind of talk about whether we were aware of this as a thing that made women hot and bothered. And then and of course, it's just seeing out what's been your personal experience with this particular thing, wherever it is. So that's kind of where I want to go with this. So, you know, one, would you have considered this something that made women hot and bothered? And two, do you have any experience with it personally, either yourself or have you witnessed this? So let's jump into this list, my brother. And we're going to go through them because I think it's like 20 things. So we got a nice long list here. And I see we do have a viewer. So Craig
is Craig in the house. What up,
my brother? Appreciate you. So I'm
welcome to the mail room.
Welcome to the mail room. You know, and so we want to hear your opinions too, Craig, because you always have some great insight, man. I appreciate it. Thank you as always. So let's jump into the very first thing that was on the list. This one's, mind you now, this is a list coming directly from women. So in many cases, you'll see the quotations because I wanted to attribute it directly to what some woman said. The number one, they said, and this was in no order, like it was the first thing, but just on this list, when I'm interrupted in a group conversation and one person looks at me and says, "What were you saying?"
You know what, Brother Black? Maybe I'm taking this. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this. So from this first one, and it's saying
she's saying that
is she saying that pisses her off?
No, turning her off. No. When everything we're talking about, when we say hot and bothered, I mean is turning them on.
Okay.
Not bothered in a negative sense.
Oh, okay.
This lady is saying that when she's in a group conversation and she gets interrupted and the man says, "Excuse me, what were you saying?" That is a turn on for her. I'm loving your expression because right from the box, I had to process that you know.
You're right. Oh, that's definitely different.
It's very different.
I would have never thought that.
And that's the psychology, my brother, behind this. And Craig, I want to know your thoughts on this. You know, is Lord knows women talk and they talk over you.
Right.
But you know what I'm getting from this? I'm getting the vibe I'm getting is that when a man interrupts them in a group conversation and zeroes in on them and says, "Excuse me, what were you saying?" That is attractive to them. And the reason why that really stuck with me, when I was in my clubbing days, I used to use an iteration of this, that when I saw a group of women and me and my boy would sit back, Kenny, and we would watch that table get approached, and quite naturally, men were approaching the baddest looking women. I would zero in on the worst looking one, the fat chick, the average looking chick, and I knew I was looking good back then. I was a god in the club back then. I had my shit together, and you know what used to work, my brother? To walk over, they were in a group setting, and to single out that chick that was not getting no attention. Excuse me, sweetheart. I'm sorry, ladies. You know, you like dancing? And oh my God, it would turn the whole group on. So I kind of get this one. What do you think?
Now that you put it in that perspective, I get it, because I think now again we're processing it through our male brain, obviously.
Right.
So, but if I'm on the other side, I could see how a woman would like, oh wait, this guy's really want to know exactly what I'm trying to get across. Oh shoot, I've never had that before, because you know what I'm saying. So now it does. I can see why this.
Maybe the hairs on my arm standing up when you just said that. Because what if this woman's in a situation where her opinion doesn't matter? She gets talked over on a job, in a relationship. So the idea that you would be interested in hearing what she has to say, Craig makes a good point. He says, I get it. It shows the woman that he's paying attention and focused on her. I think that makes them feel special. Craig, I did like Kenny. I didn't process it immediately, but the more I thought it through, you know what? Because again, look, I'm gonna tell some stories on here tonight, folks. This is the
mail room. You're in the mail room. M-A-L-E. Make sure you spell it right.
Y'all gonna hit some shit tonight. Do you know when a woman do you know, Brother Kenny and Brother Craig and any other men who watched this? My specialty was, my job when I dealt with a woman was to make her feel like she's the sexiest bitch alive. That if Janet Jackson, that was of my day, Janet Jackson was our Beyonce. If Janet Jackson walked in the room, I could, baby, I'm looking at you. When they walked through my threshold, you know, that was my goal. Is I kind of figured that I'm going to make her feel so important. You don't have to get up, have to do anything. And so this subtle thing that in a conversation, look, I'm taking some tips from this, y'all.
Already. Me too. That's why I'm in attention. I'm sitting straight up. I got correct posture. I'm ready tonight. You feel me? I'm ready.
No, I'm on 2 weeks from now, on the 18th, I'm going to be in a family reunion type situation, and I'm just found out it's going to be multiple people there as well, and then we have a function on Sunday as well. We're going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I might try out a few of these things. So this is going to be interesting.
And you should try it out because
you know me. Yeah, I got to experiment. I got to experiment.
And then we have to come back and do a show speaking on if that experiment, how did it go? We got to talk about that.
And my brother, I invite you. I know you mentioned you're intentional this summer to be outside more. So I would love to see if you take anything away from some of these and try them out and let us know. Craig, I don't know your circumstances, my brother, but let us know. Let us know.
Exactly. For sure. Craig,
number 2.
Craig says he says, I think it's what women talk about when they say they want men to move with intention. That shows intention.
Craig, I agree. I agree with you, Craig. I agree with you. I agree with you, my brother. I think we might be on to something with this list. So
I think we might be.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the number 2 that's listed on this. It says, anytime there's a name in a song, my husband replaces it with mine, always gets a reaction out of me.
Oh, wow. That's some smooth shit right there.
That's gangster. That's gangster right there.
That's some smooth shit. That's some shit that I would do.
Not only would I do,
yeah,
I've done that back when I was out there doing my thing, and anytime you could sing or play an instrument, you automatically in there. And if my boy was on here right now, he would tell you how much pussy we got from singing. Me and him, we have a song, Johnny Gill song, that we perform on occasion, and I mesmerized. The reason why Johnny Gill's album is my favorite album, pussy getting album of all, is because track number 6 is the song me and him sing. And
which one is that? Which track is that? Is that the There? Not the There You? Is that There You Go?
Take Me, I'm Yours.
That's a bad joint too. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Take Me, I'm Yours. But Keith Sweat, R. Kelly, Johnny Gill has songs, and remember when LSG had a group together? And there's moments in certain songs where you could interject a woman's name, and I'll be damned if we didn't do it, not even knowing what we were doing. And to hear this make their list, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And again, those that the fellas, if you're watching this later, this is the women. This is the women list.
Saying this.
This women saying this.
500 women interviewed. I didn't look to see race, age, whatever.
Right.
In the comments behind these, one lady says, makes me giddy like a teenager again. Fellas, will you ride or drive in the circumstances? And that song, and we know the words, and when that song come up, where it give you a chance to interject the name,
right.
Wow, put that woman's name in there. It could mean a lot. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3 is, somebody says, a man helped me up the stairs, and on the way he touched my hand. It was insanely erotic. I've never gotten over it.
Whoa.
What are you, Craig and Kenny, what do you think of? Let me get Craig's thought. For Craig says, Black, you took the words right out of my mouth. Men who can sing can write their own ticket when it comes to the women. Craig, I have used it.
You're exactly right. I can say that my brother. I can say this. My brother, my baby brother.
Right.
He got that voice and he can sing, boy. I wish he was watching. He already know. Unfortunately, big brother, I don't have the singing voice. I got the speaking voice, but my brother, he could sing, and boy, oh boy, my brother was on it. You hear me? He was on it. So
here it is, some 30 years later, I still have women who, when we talk, and their memories of me singing a song, and oh my God, again. And like, even when I get in their company and songs come on, they're waiting for me, and I can't sing nowhere near like I used to. Can't hit those notes anymore. But Brother Craig, oh man! And again, I didn't know that little touch of adding their name into it, because what it makes me realize, when you personalize it to them, it's kind of like somebody famous, and that fan thinking, he was looking directly at me.
Exactly, he's looking at me. And he probably wasn't, but he made you feel like he was looking at you.
Like he was the only person in the room.
Yeah.
He was the only person in the room. So on this number 3, guys, what do y'all think about this? Because something really came to mind. I have a lot of movie references where this woman says, a man helped me up the stairs, and the way he touched my hand was insanely erotic. I've never gotten over it. You ever seen the movie Sleepless in Seattle?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
It's a sitcom, white sitcom with Tom Hanks. One of the movies that made him famous, and I forget the name of the lady. She was like the main sitcom. I mean, not comedy, but
Right. What was it? It wasn't Jennifer Aniston, was it?
No. Okay. She made a string of movies. She was famous. She was the queen of this show. What's her name? She was in when Harry Met Sally or whatever. But anyway, she was whatever her name is. She ended up cheating on her husband. But in the movie, he had lost his wife. Long story short, the movie was about. He goes on this late night radio talk show and just is pouring his heart out about how much he misses his wife. She passed. And he's talking about what made her so special, this, that, and the other. And the whole movie is kind of about one lady is engaged to another man. They're listening to this late night show, and she falls in love with what he's saying. It's all this romantic thing. But the part I want to get to that relates to this is he talked about how he knew his wife was going to be his wife when he took her hand and they touched for the first time, and he said it was kismet. And at the end of the movie, it go through this whole thing where it's almost impossible for them to meet. The circumstances, he lived in Seattle, she lives in New York, she was engaged. It's a whole thing. But at the end, when they get together romantically and they kind of recreate that scene with Cary Grant where they meet at the top of the Empire State Building, at the very end, when they finally see each other and he takes her hand and the look is the way he touched her hand. And to hear women say that a man was helping her up the stairs and he touched her hand, she said it was insanely erotic. Well, she goes on to talk about how his thumb was rubbing across her knuckles. And so I want to ask you guys, have you ever used that as a tactic or felt a spark just by taking somebody's hand? And Craig says, I think it depends on the man. If she's attracted to him, a woman may get that reaction. If she's not attracted to him, it could be a whole different. In this day and age, Craig, you're 100% correct.
You 100% right, Craig.
Right. Because now you can't even open doors for women. But I'm thinking about in the context. Again, have you ever been in a situation where you took somebody's hand or the way they touched your hand, that you felt something? Because I'm gonna let you guys go because I believe this.
I think this definitely has some merit, has some meat to it, because I think when you talk about intimacy, I think especially for women, I think it's the little subtle things that they pick up on.
There you go.
And holding hands.
There you go.
It's the way, if you grab a woman's hand, the way you grab it and you caress it, I think that's something that they really, really dig. And it's a connection. And to me, in my opinion, it's exchanging energy.
Oh
in my
God.
in my opinion.
Did you hear what what's the lady comedian from Girls Club said about that? Tiffany Haddish? It sparked an entire debate where she talked about how she felt like that women who had multiple baby daddies, they were a little bit insane.
I remember didn't you do something on I remember you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And because the part that really got me that's adding to this is, at first glance when you hear that, a lot of people were angry, but when she explained how having that person's energy without being vulgar, she went into a very articulate, intelligent explanation of basically saying this exchange of energy that somebody's putting to you. And if you believe in the Bible, I guess there's a reason why we are supposed to be with one person. So if you have multiple people, so to your point, Kenny, I actually agree with this. And the reason why I truly believe there's an exchange of energy there too. And I think about when I was in serious relationships and unknowingly, instinctively, how it made my woman feel safe when you take her hand and move her out the kind of way that you're leading her in a way.
You're leading her in a way.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I remember, a young lady I was in love with, and her, because I'm actually not a real affectionate person in public. And I remember her telling me, I like when you grab my hand. And I don't do it. It wasn't intentional. For me, it's a thing where if there's a crowd and we're walking and I'm getting ready to make a way, so to speak, if that makes any sense, that I grab the and it's my way of saying, baby, follow me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a man thing. I think a man thing is you're gonna take the lead. You're gonna grab your lady's hand and make sure you're leading her, and you're protecting her from whatever, like you say, through a crowd.
Right.
So, yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah.
And I guess in this instance, helping her up to maybe how tender he did it, because Craig says he said he's experienced this. It's something about a touch that can turn women on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing works for men. Oh, now this is where we want to share with women who might watch this.
I definitely agree with that, Craig. Yes, I agree.
If y'all don't understand,
I definitely agree with Craig.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I think Craig was on to something that last part. He says
that's where I wanted you. That's where I wanted you to go. That's where I wanted you to go.
And as a man, and I can speak from my own perspective. A woman that can touch rub my head or play in my beard or something like that. That definitely puts me in a whole different space. It puts me in a space of I can become a little bit more open, a little bit more vulnerable to and being a little bit more emotional naked, so to speak. I'm not talking about being physically naked. I'm saying I can be a little bit more emotional naked by the way a woman touched me. I really can.
Craig, you nailed it, and I think more women understood those big, broad examples of sexiness. They work. We're not gonna kid ourselves,
right?
Oh yeah. When you come out and you got the matching panties and drawers on, you want to fuck.
Oh yeah. It's going down. It's going down for sure. Yeah.
So we're not gonna lie and pretend that don't turn us on. But I would share this with you, ladies, if you ever watch this. Just as sexy and in many cases more sensual. Brother Kenny just said it. If I trust you and you just touch you, I can be playing plays, hanging out with the fellas, and you walk past and don't say a word. And by the way, you just simply may touch my head, back of my neck, or if we in a social setting, you grab my hand, you getting some D. You getting some good D.
You better pack a lunch because you're gonna be there for a while because it's going down.
You don't have, ladies, you don't have to say a word. Craig is right. It's something about a touch that can turn you on without saying a word. So touch is so very important. Number 4,
and I think that goes back black to the. I think we done lost that. We are human beings.
Yes.
We are human and we are beings.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
And we do need
contact.
We need the contact. Unfortunately, social media has made it seem like that it's made the human contact part minute, unnecessary. But I think as we still need that. We need the touch of each other. We need the presence of each other, man.
That you say that, ladies, that rose might do something for you. And I've been saying this a long time.
You have. I already know you're going with this.
Get your Charlies off. Put your big fat sausage fingers in that pussy if you want to. And twirl that roll all around that mustard stump if you want to. But it ain't no substitute for a man's touch.
It is
ain't
not.
No AI gonna ever be able to replicate that.
It is not.
And I know I'm saying it in a vulgar way, but I promise you, ain't no substitute, like I said, for the soft touch. One, for a man when he touch you in your right spot, your right way in a tender way, or when he grabbing the scruff of your neck and beating the living breaks off that pussy. And no rose can do that.
and the sound of his voice and him breathing on your neck and his body energy next to you. Yeah.
Rose can't do that.
You're right. The rose, it can do what it need to do, for you.
Right.
You get you off, but it still ain't gonna. It can't replace.
It can't replace that.
Man.
All right. Another one that gets women all hot and bothered. Somebody said, I find it really sexy when a man puts his hands on my hips to squeeze past me. She goes on to say, my partner did that last year before we were together. We were just friends, but it was the first time I really took notice of him. It was incredibly hot. Yes. Putting your hands on a woman's hip, squeezing past her. I'll tell you how, for me, this one, I know it's sexual. When you in a crowded space, I grew up in New York on public transportation, and it's very weird how when you have to get past somebody, and I have had that experience, fellas, where if it's somebody attractive and you squeeze past them, and I swear to God, when you touch them in the right places on the hip, you do get that look, because I guess it's an unnatural spot normally to touch a woman. And I don't know, they feel something. Now, to Craig's point, you can't do that nowadays readily because you might get cussed out, But anyway, did I lose you, Kenny? My brother Kenny might be popping in and out, or I hope it ain't my internet. Okay. I thought I lost you for a minute.
No, it's not you. I don't know what. I'm trying to work these bugs out, Black. I don't know why my freaking internet is doing this. But go ahead. I heard you. Go ahead.
No, I was
talk about the hips. I'm here.
I was just saying I have actually done this, but to Craig's point, you have to be careful with this one, because touching a woman on her hips is very personal.
It is, and you say this all the time, Black. The Me Too movement has really changed the way that men can interact.
Yep.
Especially single. When you're single and you're really out trying to, make a match, or trying to you see, you're trying to date, you're trying to move around, you're trying to see what you got. We can't move like we used to.
No,
because like you say, because in the club, you could do that. You could grab a woman around her hips and kind of, whisper around her neck, "Hey, how you doing? I'm just trying to move around. What's your name?" You could do that then. You can't really do it like that.
You can't do it that way no more.
And I think that's where you're right. We have lost that connection. But I will say this. I find it sexy too when I can grab a woman around her waist too and be behind her. Because most of the time I'm taller than the women anyway, most of the time.
Right.
So that puts me in a position of, now she probably feel like, oh, this guy can protect me. Oh shit, Absolutely. This is some sexy shit. This is some sexy shit right here.
Absolutely.
So, and I find it sexy too, because I love to grab a woman around her waist. I do. I think that's some dope ass shit. But anyway.
No, I agree with you 1,000%. And again, I'm the first to admit I'm not very public displays of affection. Right. But when I'm with somebody and I'm again, this is the crazy part. When I'm in the right setting, I stand, that you say that, I stand behind who I'm with and I put my arms around her, like around her waist. Right. And it's a beautiful thing because she feels safe. Without even boasting, it signals to everybody in that room, oh, that's his woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's about marking our territory.
It is.
I think for a man, that's how we kind of look at that. That's that.
It is.
That's what it is.
It is. And every time, every woman I've ever been with and been in that situation, they feel safe. That they don't want you to move. They ain't going nowhere. Back when I went to concerts and we had a concert, and she just waving and screaming. I got my arms around her and I'm letting her do her thing, and she just getting just wild as she want to be, but it gives them that sense of security. So I get this one completely. I really do. Number 5, it says, my kick It's when a man is excitedly talking about interests and hobbies he's passionate about. I could have no interest in it, but I'd let him ramble and ask him questions anyway, and it doesn't feel forced. This one, as it made the list, to hear women say that this made them hot and bothered. What do you think? This one is real interesting. Brother Craig says, I think when a man grabs a woman around the waist to get around her, she sees him as a man who takes charge. It oozes confidence in a man. Absolutely. Absolutely. We agree with you, Craig, 1,000%, because this is one where, again, if you it establishes you as a dominant, I feel. And anybody who knows me, I am a toxic male. And so I still want to be recognized in a relationship that I am the dominant one. But there's a new dynamic in these relationships where women are accepting men that are less masculine now. Some of them are even feminine, that feminine energy. So I'm talking about what Craig's comment, Kenny. And so Kenny says he think when a man grabs a woman around the waist to get around her, she sees him as a man who takes charge and it oozes confidence. So I agree with that. I was just thinking about that. I'm still a toxic male in the sense that I want to be recognized as the dominant one in that relationship. But these new relationships, a lot of women are opting for feminine, more emotional feminine men. And sometimes I can't tell who is the dominant one. And that confuses me. And Craig and Kenny, that's a part of the reason why I keep saying that I'm lost in this new dating dynamic, because there doesn't seem to be an alpha sometimes to me.
Well,
and I am.
And I get that, Black, but I also think that, and this is where we both Capricornians, but we both are a little bit different on that, and it's okay. I always look at a relationship as it's a team, and it's not about who's the alpha. For me, I'm just saying, for me, it's about we in this relationship as a team, but I'm still gonna be the man that I am. But I'm also I ain't got to feel like I got to be the alpha. You feel me? So but I definitely get what you're saying, because you know what
I admit that I'm a toxic male.
And that's who you are. That's okay. You know what? I really want us to lose the toxic though. I don't want.
And when I say that, if you notice, I say it in jest, because I don't consider it toxic.
I don't think it's toxic. I think it's traditional, and traditional sometimes has a toxic theme to it, but that was how the hierarchy was set. But I think we do have to be able to evolve a little bit. And you know, I'm not talking about you.
No,
I'm just saying, as in relationships, we do have to evolve a little bit and understand that a relationship is a ship between two people, and it doesn't matter who's the alpha.
Brother Kenny, you ain't lying.
But as a man, though, but as a man, we still got to walk in our manlyhood.
That's the balance that I
want to make that perfectly clear, ladies. A man still got to walk in his manlyhood, though.
And that's the balance that I have to find. That I recognize that to be with somebody in 2025, 2026, I have to evolve. That there's no question, but I have to find that balance, because I am that traditional guy. So when I use that term toxic male, I say it tongue in cheek, because I don't consider it toxic. It is, I do believe in the traditional values where I'm taking the lead, but I got to find a new way to represent that, probably, to make it work. So that's the whole goal, folks. That's the whole goal. But
now this one we're talking about, this is one thing. This is something that I really, my kick is when a man is excited to talk about his hobbies and interests and all that. I hadn't really found a woman that really dig when I talk about that. I don't know. Have you found a woman that's really been interested?
Where I was going, that I don't see this one. So this may be a cultural. This one, let me say this. This one may be cultural, and it may even be generational. That you say that, Kenny, because I don't find that the women that I see and come across give you the space to excitedly talk about your interests and hobbies, because in most cases it's all about them. So this may very well be cultural and generational. I would think older women, because we're going back to last Saturday's show where we're talking about a first date. The reason why I was mentioning the fucking Waffle House, ladies, is that I was thinking of it in terms of having some breakfast, having a great conversation, where I could actually get the fucking talk. But if you're telling me that you can't think straight and enjoy my company because you're at Waffle House, this is where one that I struggle with. So this one, it may be cultural here.
Yeah. And now I get what you're saying.
You know, Craig says for number 5, women love men who are go-getters and have a passion for something. It lets her know that he can handle his business and it's not lazy. Craig, I agree if you find the woman who lets you do that. And here's the crazy part. Look, folks, I find that the women who let me do that, they're white women.
Oh.
They're white women. When I hear this one, that's where I was tiptoeing around it. But that's where I'm going with this, that I have so many white women, I swear to you, that lean in and, oh my God, that's so interesting. So how did you do this, that, and other? I do not find my sisters who allow me to tell you what I'm passionate about. In many cases, they are very superficial. This is one.
Nah, they out there, brother. They out there, brother. This is the mail room.
I'm just saying.
I hear you. I get it.
That's why I'm saying this, though. This is one where I kind of get where athletes choose the others because I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying that this is where I can kind of see that, because I believe they're out there, but I will say this. This is the mailroom, right? I believe the others, white women, Asian women, Indian descent, whatever the fuck you want to say, I believe they have mastered the art a little bit better at, whether it's real or fake, at listening to you talk about your dreams, whereas the sisters, they seem to be a little bit more combative. I'm sorry, sisters.
You know your brother gonna give you some pushback on that.
There you go.
No,
there you go.
I totally disagree with that. I think when you talk about the athletes that sometimes choose Becky's in the white milk, that's just because of probably the environment that they came from. They was more that was what they were used to being around. Now I would say this, sisters, you have to really reel them in a little bit more to make them interested in your aspirations and dreams. But I think they are willing to really listen and be in tune with that, as long as you keep them interested and in tune with that. That's just my opinion.
I love it. I find myself in an odd place in 2025 where I find myself drifting.
We ain't gonna. Hey, brother Black, we gonna keep you over here on this side, brother.
I want to stay. I want to stay. Craig says athletes date white women because white makes themselves available to those athletes. Black women want the athletes to chase them. So, Craig, this is where I agree with you. So this is where I agree with Craig in this sense. I know what you're saying, Brother Ken. That's why I love this. But I agree with Craig in the sense that, and I'm being serious. He has a heart attack. I've always said is white women marry well. They're strategic. I think they strategically plot to go after these athletes. I mean it in that sense where white women, they look, this is my personal opinion. I think white women look long-term. I think they see the potential. Black women are seeing the here and the now. How you treat, and with good reason. They have every good reason. The sisters are educated. They're smart. They're the most brilliant fucking people on the planet. And so because of this, and they come into their own now, they ain't going to the back seat anymore. And they're feeling like, I want my kingdom right here. Treat me well right now. Am I waiting? What are you doing for me right now? I do think the others say, you know what? I'm going to put my shit on the back burner because I see where this guy's headed. You know what I'm saying? He's lettering, he's playing sports, and this ninja might end up going to the NFL or the NBA. I'm gonna be there every evening when he get off, and I'm gonna lay at his feet so he can tell me all the dumb shit that's coming out of his mouth. Well, you know, I think what I want to do, I want to build a big doghouse and I want to put a pool in the back. I don't, like this lady says, she don't give a shit what he's talking about, but the idea that she's listing. So I think when a guy thinks about, well, who am I going to wife? I love me some sisters. That fat pumping ass, them good dick sucking lips and them big old titties and everything, ain't nothing like a white woman. But I mean a black woman. But then when you think about, okay, well, who am I going to wife because I can come and say the dumb shit? I think others are more strategic. This is the mail room, and for y'all who of you joining us, this is part of, you know, my series called Thinking Out Loud. It is what it is, but I agree with you, Craig. I agree. For those of you just joining us, I see we got a few visitors. Craig said we're talking about, you know, what makes women hot and bothered, and he says athletes date white.
Y'all bear with my internet.
Okay, gotcha. Brother Kenny coming back. Craig says white women can go to college, meet an athlete, get married, coming out of college, and have a career. Black women always put their careers over marriage. Whew, that's a lot in that statement.
See, that's a lot in that statement, brother.
That's a lot in that statement.
And I get where you're going. I don't want to say black women always. I think when you say always,
right, not always. I agree. Take the always out.
Not always. Yeah, take the always
but Craig,
out. And
I agree with your point. and that's why I got through elaborating. I think because sisters have had to work so hard to gain respect because they are on the low end of the totem pole. Let's be clear. Black women are on the low end of the totem pole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, there's things that you nappy head black bitches do to keep yourself down there. So I love you, but
but we love y'all. I love y'all. That's
I love them to death. Look, I'm being funny, but Craig is right in the sense that. But I'm just trying to, and I'm just giving my thoughts. But I do think, on a serious note, that black women have had to work so hard to pull themselves up. And there's a reason why they're the fastest and largest population that goes to school and get education. So I do think for sisters, they do feel like, Craig, that I'm not about to sacrifice to be your little woman at home to cook and clean and have babies when I'm out here making more money than you. My credit score is better than you. I'm working 2-3 jobs. Oh, and by the way, I'm the one taking care of the kids and the custodial parent. I fucks with sisters in the sense of terms of that. So I get it in that sense. And this is the only reason why I say that the others, when they go to college and catch this guy, they're seeing the potential. They're seeing the potential. Why Shakisha and Tamika is fucking with him, with making sure he got food stamps and SNAP benefits and helping him find fish and chicken and shit in the dorm. They cooking him up. Becky is looking at, I'm gonna catch him when he's in his year where he's about to leave. And I'm gonna suck his dick. I'm gonna let him put his dick between these titties. I'm gonna let him do the nastiest, filthiest. I'm gonna let him diddy me every kind of way he wants. So that when he think about going to sit in that draft room, he want me sitting by his side. You know, I believe that. You know, so that's where I think they're more strategic.
And I get that they are, but I think we kind of veered off another.
Absolutely.
We kind of veered off number. But I number 5. But no, and it's cool. But I do want to go back to where we was talking about. You know, when the woman says what gets her hot and bothered.
Yeah.
When a man is excitedly talking about interests and hobbies he's passionate about, and that, you know what, that's really for me. For my personal, what I want, I want a woman that is really interested in that.
Right.
When I talk about that, because Black, you know me, you know what I'm passionate about. You already know, I'm passionate about this dang sports.
Absolutely,
shit. I'm passionate about this, my social media, and that's big for me. And I want a woman.
Yep. And you always say you want a woman that gets me.
Right. And if you get me, you know, you're gonna know that, damn, he into his sports shit, he's into social media and he's posting. And if I'm excited about something, I want to feel that energy that she's feeling excited for me too. You know, so it's kind of hard to find. You know, that's one of those things as a man. When I'm out here looking. If y'all don't know, that's watching, me and Brother Black, we single in our middle 50s, but that's one of the things I want to have. If whomever the woman that's going to be my companion, I want her to be excited about what I got going on as far as interests and hobbies. Because I'm gonna be excited about what she got. I'm gonna be excited about what she got going on, and I'm definitely gonna be supporting her, biggest supporter. So,
well, just know as we move to number 6, Brother Kenny, women, whoever they are saying that when a man like you is talking about his interests and hobbies, there are many of them out there clearly are saying that gets them hot and bothered. So that's good to know. Number 6.
That's good to know.
I was in his way when he was trying to walk by and being my sassy self and wouldn't move. He gently picked me up like I weighed nothing and moved me out of the way. Women are saying that this got them hot and bothered when a man was able to physically, in a gentle way, move them. Fellas, why do you think that for them is sexy? Why does that get them hot and bothered?
Brother Black, you already know, because I already know you.
I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it.
Because when you shut them damn doors, you pick her little ass up and throw her around in that room.
Yes, sir.
She already know.
Yes, sir.
It's time, Daddy here. It's time it's time to get it on, like the late Marvin Gaye said. So a woman want a man that can physically do some things that she wants to be done to her.
Yes, sir. I was watching an episode of Good Times, and there's a
I know what scene you talking about.
If you ever remember that scene, Florida told George James he could go somewhere, and he picked her up and moved her, and she got turned on. If you remember that episode,
yep,
Lorna was there because I don't forget what the episode was about. And she goes, Lord, that man always could move me. And it was for the 70s. It was like a reference to sex, but it turned her on because Florida was a good-sized woman. Yeah. And that James physically picked her up and moved her. So this one ain't gonna never go away. And I get this, because like you said, Kenny, even women, they look, again, that Rose can't pick you up and do what that can do. And I like the fact that it talks about gentle. So we're not talking about being rough. Go ahead, Brother Kenny.
But I got a question, Black, because I like a woman a little bit on the thick side, and I'm not a big guy. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot 185. So
okay,
I want to be able to move, but I like them thick too. So, and I gotta ask you, Black, do we gotta stay in our weight class? I mean, do I need to stay in my weight class?
You know, if they're expecting me to do that, then I can't stay in my weight class. I can't stay in my weight class, and that's why I say, look, folks. Ladies, in my younger days, let me say hello, Seth. You hello. Tori says, damn, I didn't know you were going live. Super fan, I decided to come live.
Hey, what's up, Miss Tori?
Craig says, I agree, Ken, but I have a different take. I think number 6 is tied to women feeling protected. Oh, I agree with that. I think that's a big part of it too. You know, but I think it's sexual, Craig. Tori says, hello, Craig. Hello. But Craig, I think that the hot and bothered part comes in where I do think it's a turn on for women. And now that we got Tori on, Tori, educate us, brothers. This is a study over 500 women that compiled a list of things that make them feel hot and bothered that men do unexpectedly and unknowingly. And so number 6 was where somebody says that being moved out of the way. So Kenny, to your question, in my younger days, this was a big one, to be able to pick somebody up and assert that dominance. Look, I'm 57 now. A nigga got peripheral neuropathy, sciatica, back pains, and everything else. I ain't picking your ass up. No. I'm not moving. Even if you thin, look, maybe you can get on top, but I'm not picking your ass up nowhere. You're gonna have me out of commission for the next few weeks.
hey, if somebody watching, hey, she know who she is. Hey, big head, if you watching right now, I'm picking you up. I can pick you up because I know your weight. I know you already told me.
Shit!
So I can pick you up.
That's the man right there. And Kenny, they apparently love it. But Craig, I do think they would have to feel protected that if a man could move them and pick them up, that's got to be a turn on. Let's go to number 7. Number 7 says it's in the eyes. When they look at you and those eyes sparkle, like really look at you and really see you.
Wow.
Now I know this one. I get this one 1,000%. I get this one 1,000% when a woman says it's in the eyes. Right before this show, I was watching Pop the Balloon series on YouTube. And there was a series of men, and the first guy was a police officer. Nice looking brother. Look, I like women, but I'm just being frank. All the guys were decent looking brothers. All of the guys in this one were nice looking brothers, well put together, well dressed, this, that, and the other. And the very first guy was a police guy. And I'm talking about he had a buff, this, that, and other thing. It was a chick on there that popped his balloon. And do you know the reason why she popped his balloon? She said she loved his answer. She said he wouldn't look her in the eye. She said all the other guys, she said, they staring me down. And he really wanted her. And they actually would have been a good match because they were compatible. But for some reason, he was the very first one. Every time the lady went to him, he kind of looked away. And I know how important it is for a woman to look in your eye. And she talked about how I need to look in your eyes to see if there is a spark. And so this one is, I literally saw this before I did the show. And I can't tell you how many times, once again, I fucked women that wasn't intending on fucking me, but it was in the eyes.
Oh wow!
It was in the eyes. It was in the eyes. Wow. The eyes took over. Tori says, if he looks in my eyes too long, I'm going to bust out laughing.
Oh dang, Miss Tori, really, Miss Tori, really?
So, yeah, I get what you said, Miss Tori. So no, there's a technique to it. But I want to ask you a question, Miss Tori, since you're on here. We're not talking about staring, but I'm talking about, is it attractive? Because women are saying this is attractive when a man is, though, making that eye contact. And I don't know if this is for me.
Brother Black, I'm going to switch over to my phone so I won't have this delay.
Okay.
So I'm going to get out, then I'm coming back. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So Miss Tori, I want to know, and Craig chime in as well. I don't know that this is something that I do unknowingly. I've always made it a point to look people in the eye. That's just something that I've always done. And so if I'm talking to a woman, I don't look away. I'm looking at person, and if I'm attracted to her, I'm looking for the spark too. So to hear that women feel that it's in the eyes, she says, when they look at you and those eyes sparkle, I know what she's saying. If their reflection in my eyes is that I'm attracted, they're going to know it. They're going to know it because, Miss Toria, there's a different look if I'm just talking to someone versus I'm interested in her. And it is in the eyes. It'd be obvious if I looked her body over, but if I'm looking in her eyes, Miss Toria, or women, whoever watching this, and I'm interested in her, I swear to you, I am looking more than if that may not make any sense. But anyway, that I get it. I get this one where a woman would say, that, hey, it's in the eyes. Kenny will be back with us. We're going to move on to the next one, and hopefully he'll pop in because we've got quite a list. We might not even get through all of these. For those of you joining, this is a survey list by over 500 women that talked about how even though men do a lot of dumb shit and get on their nerves, they also revealed on this list that there were some subtle things that men have done that surprised them, that had them hot and bothered, sweating and fanning out. Again, it doesn't say whether this was white, black, young, old. This is just a list compiled of women that I thought was interesting. All right, so let's go to number 7. Whoa. Let's go to numbers. No, we just did number 7. I'm sorry. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 says that little secretive smirk they have after they've got you to laugh. I didn't know about the smirk part. I will say this, that got a woman hot and bothered, but I've always believed that humor women find attractive. I always have known that women find humor attractive. Once again, I was watching the Pop the Balloon special, and another guy on there, he kept getting rejected. Nobody ever picked him, even though he was a decent looking brother. He had the height, he had the build, he was dressed well, but he was so serious. And finally, one lady told him, she says, well, the reason why I popped your balloon, she said, because you look so serious. He said to her, well, no, I'm actually very funny. I'm a comedian, and she had already popped his balloon. Kenny, you came in on number 8, where women said that little secretive smirk they have after they've got you to laugh. And I was talking about how I've always believed sense of humor, and if you get a woman to laugh, they find it attractive. And so on this show I was watching just before this, a lady, they kept rejecting this one guy because he was standing there and he was looking so serious and he wouldn't smile, he wouldn't ever, and the other guys were loose and more playful. And so I get this one where a woman would find it attractive, number one, if they're funny and you get them to laugh, but they're talking about the little smirk. It says that little secretive smirk they have after they've got you to laugh. I get that. I get it.
Oh yeah. Hey, Brother Black, I get that, because I'm gonna be, y'all already know I got a little bit of comedic something in my DNA, and I already know if you can get a woman to laugh, you got her.
You got her.
And at least you in there. Yeah, at least you. And I think a woman loves a man with a sense of humor.
Absolutely.
And I think, and actually, I think it makes getting to know someone a little bit easier when you all can laugh together. You don't necessarily have to have the same sense of humor, because we all find certain things funny. That it is. But I think as a man, if you're not always trying to be Rico Suave all the time, and rather just being relaxed and being funny,
Yeah, a woman. I think all women love a funny guy. That's one thing. That's a constant. I think that no matter what race, ethnicity, I think all women like a guy that has a sense of humor and it makes them laugh because it puts them at ease.
I agree. It immediately takes the tension away, and so they're talking about a little smirk after you got to laugh. I get that. You know, I didn't think that was a thing that they caught necessarily. I guess
they do, Brother Black. I worked that to my advantage.
Okay.
I've worked that one. I know about that little smirk.
So this one I wasn't conscious of. Because I'm just a fucking idiot anyway. You know, that day was okay. That's what's up. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Number 9, I'll read the whole thing and I kind of paraphrase it. Was once having a conversation with the man standing in a door frame, and he reached his arms up over his head to grab the door frame and just kind of held onto it while keeping eye contact with me. I lost my train of thought and stumbled over my words. It was hot as hell. This one was a trip to me.
Yeah, that was different.
And one lady comments, she said, my husband does this. It is too fucking hot. This one, I wish I would need a woman to explain why would they say it's sexy that, because they got a picture where they showing this guy standing in a door frame and he's talking and he kind of puts his arm up over. So Kenny, I gotta ask you, is this a thing about being tall enough to touch the door frame that turns them on?
I think that may be what it is, Brother Black, because I didn't get that. I think that she says I got feedback.
Yeah, okay. She says, Kenny, you have feedback. Close out something I'm hearing lead through your sound.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully I closed it out. Yeah, I think I closed it out. So hopefully you're not hearing it now.
Okay, let me say it when I speak.
Okay.
Okay, I think it stopped.
Okay, yeah, I think I closed it out because I think I had it open in 2 different places. I think I'm good now. But I think you right, Black. I think that's what it is. I think women are big on a man being a certain height, and I think if she sees that you can reach I think that's a turn off. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's the only thing that makes sense. If you're standing in a doorway, Toria, help us out as a woman. If you're standing in a doorway and and the man is talking, is it attractive that he can reach up to the top of the door frame while he's talking? Because women are saying they find that hot. They're saying it was hot as hell, and another they say it is too fucking hot. Like that one, you know, that's crazy. She said your volume is good now. So anyway, we're learning some things here. So thank God. God blessed me to be. I'm not a short man and I'm not a tall man. You know, in my best days, I was 6 feet tall. Now that I'm fat, I've shrank a little bit. I'm all the way down to 5'10". So please, God, don't let me shrink no more. But you know, wow, I'm down to 5'10" now. But I'm still tall enough that I'm not a short man. You know, but anyway, women say that they find that fucking hot. I still hear the echo. I still hear myself echo.
You still hearing the echo?
Uh-huh.
What the hell? Hold on. Hello. Mic test 1 2.
Hello.
I hear you. You hear me?
I'm trying to say as I talk.
I hear you. So, but you still hear your echo?
I didn't hear it that time.
Okay.
Yes, I did. There's a little faint. Well, yep. As I'm talking, I can hear myself talking.
Okay.
Like twice, like repeating.
Can you hear me? You know what? I can hear me too, a little bit.
Toria, as far as the age, it didn't give an age, so I don't know if this was a certain age group. I don't know if it was a certain demographic as far as a race or whatever. It's just over 500 women, so we're just kind of taking them as they go. So educate us. do you think that this is something that young women find attractive, or would it be older women that a man is reaching above and they show in the picture? Because that one I don't necessarily get. The only thing that would make sense, I guess, is that they're referring to the fact that he's tall. I don't know. Let's go to number 10. Women says, a guy held the door open for me, but instead of holding it the typical way, he held it open up high, so I had to walk under his arm to go through. She says, I think about it often, honestly. This one is, again, I don't necessarily get why the door thing is sexy for women. Toria says it's not women in our generation. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So if we're talking about younger women, as Toria says, these are younger women. Yeah, I hear everything I'm saying, Kenny. I can hear myself saying it twice. But
okay, let me come back out and come back in. I'm gonna come back out and come back in.
Okay. So, Victoria, you says that is not sexy. So for our generation, that is not sexy. And I'll be honest with you, Victoria, I don't get that one either. I don't understand why that would be sexy. Kenny, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's still we're gonna roll with it, my brother. I don't know why.
I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, keep rolling. I'm gonna go back out and try to come back in and see if that.
Do you want me to? Let me see if I remove you all the way.
All right.
See, because when I remove you, you're still backstage. I'm thinking if you go all the
way out. Yeah. I'm gonna go all the way out.
Because it's still showing that same connection. Okay. So Victoria, you said that's a young one. I don't get that one. I don't even know if I'm qualified to speak on for young women. She says, mute when Lee talks. Okay. So we're going to add you back, Kenny. Can you hear us? Okay. So he went all the way out. He's going to come back in. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer this one about why this would turn women on, about a man holding the door up high where the woman have to walk underneath him, other than it just being about height. That's the only thing that would make sense to me if it's the younger generation, that it's about height. And height has always been a thing that women find attractive in many cases. So that's the only thing that would make sense there. Let's go to number 11. Again, another reason why this group of women, over 500 surveyed, as one of the things that men do unknowingly that makes them hot and bothered is, this one is a good one. Women says a kiss on the forehead for no reason makes them hot and bothered. On the other one, Tori says putting his hands up high makes no sense. Tori, I guess I'm with you, because I don't get that one either. Why that would be sexy, other than just that the man is tall and that he's tall enough that she can walk under him. But okay, for number 11, this one is an interesting one where women said a kiss on the forehead for no reason. In the movie The Best Man, you remember that movie? One of our classic Black movies.
Yes.
Harper, the character Harper, wrote in the book, and when he was dealing with his character, that one of his signature moves was to kiss the woman on the forehead. I've always wondered why women find that sexy. I've done it. Now I've done it.
Yeah, okay. That was my question. Okay, I want to ask Miss Toria Craig, is that feedback Black? Is the feedback still there, or is it better?
No, I don't hear it now.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I don't hear it now.
Okay, I want to ask you, Black. You said you've done it. Why? That's my question. Why have you done it?
There was no real and purpose to it. I've typically been taller than most of the women I've been with. I've had a few Amazons, so I wasn't able to do that. But when I dated a woman that's small and I said, hey baby, I just instinctively kiss her on her forehead, not thinking anything of it, is just something to do. So Toria, help us out. You say you watched the whole trilogy of the Best Man series. Why do women find getting kissed on their forehead sexy, or why would that turn a woman on? I want to know from a woman.
I do too, and I've done it. I've only done it with one woman though.
And so, was it intentional? Did you specifically say, I'm going to kiss her on the forehead? Why?
Yes.
Why the forehead?
It was intentional because I loved her. I was in love with her.
But why the forehead of all places? Not on the cheek, not on the lips. Why on the forehead?
I wish I could. I wish I had an answer.
We said the same thing. I did it too, but I don't. But I don't know why.
I think that's one that you save. I'm gonna say for me, I saved it for the special woman. I think that's a special kiss in my opinion. That's special for some reason, I can't explain why. I can't explain why, but it's special.
I agree. No, I agree 1,000%. That is not a kiss you give to somebody you just kicking it with.
Right.
It's casual with. I'm only talking about my wife and the serious relationships I've been in, that it is an ultimate sign of affection, but I can't explain to you why I kissed them on the forehead, because as Toria says, I've never had that happen. I've been kissed on the cheek. She says, never heard it was sexy and made you hot. And it was in the movie, as you remember, Miss Toria. And I want a woman to explain to me why that. But to Kenny's point, it's something special that you really love that person. But I don't know.
I don't. And it's like I did this, and it wasn't something I've seen before. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't a movie. When I did this at the time,
it's purely instinctive.
It was instinctive, and it didn't. I didn't have any map or like you say, a movie that I seen it done in, because The Best Man was nowhere near out by the time I did this. So I think that it just was it was instinctive, and it was just a special connection. That's the only thing I can explain.
I'm gonna have to remember this, because I'm gonna have to ask. I'm gonna ask my women friends to get an answer to this one. That have they ever been kissed on the forehead, and how did it make them feel? I got to get an answer.
Because I definitely do want to know the woman's perspective from that. Yeah, you're right. I really don't know, but I do know that for some reason women find that they do find it somewhat dope.
They do. All right, let's go on to number 12, which I thought was funny, and that this even made the list. Some woman or women or whoever, however they did it, says, have you ever seen your man ignite his replica lightsaber in a pitch black room while he's standing at the foot of the bed? And she got a laughing emotion.
What the hell?
I can only speculate why this would make the list and be sexy.
What the hell?
And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, other than what it's giving me is that where it says, well, I took it down. If you're in a pitch black room, now when I say lightsaber, this is what made me laugh, because that's gotta be white people. Let's just keep it funky. We don't keep
right. Right.
Because that's a reference to Star Wars, and even though I watched Star Wars. This has got to be a white woman saying this, but it did make me think about toys or glow in the dark condoms, because I have done that. Toria says, yes, seen it, but that was a movie. Some women want to live their life as a movie. Maybe that's why they made up this dumbass list.
Yeah, boy, Miss Toria be going in, boy. She like, she ain't got time for the bullshit. Miss Toria like, yo,
I can tell you, that kiss on the forehead, it definitely has been a thing for a lot of women. I got to get an answer to that.
Yeah, I do too.
But this one right here about the lightsaber, it's on the list, so I didn't want to leave it off, but that's the only thing I could think of that why. Now this has got to.
Yeah, but on the flip side too, Brother Black, I guess it could be, a man standing there with his Johnson at full salute too. That could be it too.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can get from it.
Does the lightsaber in a pitch dark room make this woman or women, whoever, think that, I'm getting ready to get fucked? Look at that sword. You get ready to go to Pound Town. You get ready to get buck tussle. Something. That's the only thing that would make sense that this would make the list. Okay, so let's move on to number 13. Number 13 says, in terms of what makes them hot bar, removing some of the mental and emotional load off of my plate. 100%.
Oh yeah.
That I think that goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes without saying. I don't think we even have to debate that.
We ain't got
anytime you can take any pressure off of your woman's plate, especially mental and emotional, lay your baggage with me. That's got to turn her on. I'll add this last part to it. So I will add this to it. That is the reason why one of my favorite pickup spots has been funerals. my boy, he does well at weddings because the psychology there is women are showing up at a wedding. They're all a little bit jealous of the person getting married, especially the bitches that ain't get chosen, especially them bitches that always in a wedding, but they never being married, but then 6 weddings a year, they bridesmaids always. So he picks up on that, that they want to be married. So he beats the living breaks out of these bitches at weddings. I beat bitches at funerals.
Boy. Yo, man.
Because this one right here, funerals have you thinking about your own mortality and about death and all the shit you're not going through to bury this poor sad son of a bitch that's laying there. And so this is my opportunity to put you ain't got to put it at the altar for Jesus. The altar right
hey, again, that the views expressed right here on this particular one is those of Brother Lee Black and Brother Lee Black only. He tried to be at no funeral, try to beat no brakes off of you and put your legs behind your ears. But I will give you a little shoulder to cry on though. I do that.
Brother Kitty, that's me. I'm taking it. Lay that emotional stress over here. It's gonna be all right.
Already, I already know how you operate. God damn it.
It ain't nothing like a good funeral.
Oh man.
Okay, let's go to number 14. I'll read the whole thing because I paraphrase some of it. Well, somebody made a comment. Let me see. Tori's laughing at me.
She laughing. Miss Tori's laughing her ass off. I already know. She blue in the face at this point. Yeah, I already know.
Funerals is my thing, and it works. Fellas, it works. Yeah. It works. Number 14 says, once on a trip with a couple of friends, we were just chilling, and my friend spontaneously started sweeping and mopping the floor shirtless. She goes on to say, and I didn't put this part in there, he's all tatted up, long hair, super pretty guy, but it was the initiative that did it for me. Like, I don't need to tell him the floor needs sweeping. That's a man, she said.
Oh, wow.
So this person found it hot that in a group of friends, because notice she says that this was a friend that did it. this wasn't even her man. But what made her got hot and bothered apparently was that this guy took the initiative to just start cleaning up. So I want to ask you, Brother Kenny, and Craig, if you're still watching, have you ever thought about cleaning up as being something sexy to a woman?
I'll be honest with you, I never thought about that, but now going back and thinking about it, because of me and my ex, peace be upon her, because we were similar on how we like to keep our house clean. I think she did kind of find it sexy when she saw me cleaning up and making sure everything was straightened up. Now that I think about it, because I don't like no clutter. I don't like no stuff around there. I can't rest if my house ain't clean or whatever. Anyway, she was the same way. So I think maybe that's probably what she would, and maybe that's why we was buck tussling a little bit more, because she saw my ass getting up, cleaning up some shit.
Because you know what's funny about this one to me? There's a guy I follow on TikTok, and his whole entire channel is about him cleaning up. His entire channel is, and I watch it because it's fascinating. He shows his whole clean routine, like he cleaning the tub, that whole thing, and how he organizes the thing. His entire channel, and he got a shitload of women followers that's tuning in to watch him clean it up. And then I think about other people I follow who they're watching men when in the apron with no shirt on, and they're cooking dinner, because that's my thing, is I cook. And that's where this one resonated with me, that women have found it attractive when I've invited them over and I'm cooking dinner. And no, I got this baby sitting there, and what you keep, and they come sit at the counter and they're watching me cook. And I'm an extremely clean person too, because I know women look at how you clean the chicken, and you know what the counter look like if you got dirty dishes all around. And so I love to cook, and I even get more enjoyment out of watching somebody eat my food. And so this one resonated with me, that I guess enough men don't just clean, like you just said, you're organized, that this is probably attractive.
And I think it is, Brother Black. And again, but you know, in what you read, he had his shirt off too. So obviously he's working out. He probably got something nice to look at. So a lot of us in our age group may not look all that without our shirt off. Obviously, I wasn't doing that. You know, I ain't gonna even do. I'm pretty decent, but I ain't gonna do that shit right now. I ain't cleaning up without my shirt on, whatever. But I think for women it's the little things. Though, and for them that's showing initiative.
And the initiative. She said that he took the initiative.
Right.
So maybe that made her, oh my God, look at this guy go. Because trust and believe, women, y'all don't want to see me with my shirt off. My titties is as big as yours, so you know we're not gonna do that.
Well, ladies, the other Capricornian brother over here, my tit, I don't have titties. I still got pecs. There's some gray hairs on them, but I still got pecs.
My brother from another PNC. Look, make sure even if I went swimming, nobody wants to look at my
and you have entered the mail room, by the way, if you didn't realize.
First says women love men to cook and clean, but nowadays none of these women cook. They buy ready-made meals or Uber Eats. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I wonder though, Miss Toria, is cooking still an appreciated art because of what you just said? Because is that generational then? Because and the reason why I'm asking that, I'm saying that, and we're gonna move on. I don't think it's impressive to young women anymore, because that's a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't think it's impressive to young women.
And that's why they're not coming. They don't want to come over for you to cook a meal for them
Right,
anymore.
right.
Because, like you said, we can just order something or let's go out to eat.
Or Uber or whatever, Uber Eats or whatever.
Yeah. You know, where I do think women in my age group still appreciate, oh my God, this guy can cook and he has a clean place, you know, to walk in. Because now, you know, we went through that period of Netflix and chill. You got a lot of women in this new dating arena. They don't want to Netflix and chill because they want to go out somewhere, you know.
Right.
And it's weird that they take them out somewhere. Now they'll fuck in a car. They'll go around their back and fuck in a bathroom, but some kind of way it's insulting to cook a meal for them in your home. That's why I said, I'm learning from this.
And it's funny you mentioned that because a lot of women, they don't even want, if a man offered to have a date and bring you over to their home and you cook for them, they don't even want that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but to me, that's that. Why wouldn't you want that? But okay.
That's why it's got to be generational because they'll view that as an insult.
Yep.
You know, I ain't coming over to your house and blah blah blah. So,
and I get that for a first date because I wouldn't invite a woman over to my crib on the first date.
I wouldn't now. I would have, but I certainly wouldn't now, and I understand it.
Yeah, right.
Safety reasons. And in case y'all don't know, I wouldn't invite you over because I don't know if you crazy too, bitch.
It just works both ways. I think women always try to put it on us.
Yeah, no.
We don't. Y'all could be setting us up for some
once again. That's why I don't sleep on Waffle House. Taking your ass to Waffle House in a public setting where we can sit there and eat and talk. Because you might be
right. Crazy, you know? Yeah, true. That's true. True that.
Tori said, "You're right. I hear my nieces, they want to go out or go away for the weekend. I could not believe what they're doing now." And that's the crazy part, Miss Toria, that they will go on a trip with a stranger, but the idea that you invite them to your home is cringy and creepy and this, that. So it's definitely generational. Whereas I think an older woman, if you said, "Hey, I'm cooking a little pasta, got some red wine, we're gonna have a little light salad," they're like, "Hey, I think it's very different." So this one, we're gonna short-live on number 15, but somebody put it in there. My man is a computer programmer, and the way he types just does it for me. I can't really explain it. I don't know why. I can't explain that.
I can't either. I can't relate to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that follows with the next one, competency kink. But notice how she said it with a question mark. Seeing someone be really good at something, especially if they're flowing through it, can be incredibly hot. I get that.
But I get that.
I get that.
Because I think Black, you and I probably could really relate to what we do, because I know we're on social media and we do our stuff. But I think some women will look at us and how we are dealing, we on different shows and we do our shows and whatever.
I didn't think about that.
So some women will find that attractive. Oh, this dude is really dope with what he does, his presentation and how he delivers it, and I can see he loves what he doing.
I wasn't thinking that.
I can see women be like, "Yo, that's kind of sexy." So yeah,
I was not looking at it that way, but not only does it does happen. We get people that pop in that are feeling you because they see you doing your thing.
Yeah. Because you and I both have got a couple of messages. Yeah.
It really does happen. But you know what's crazy about that? There's another lost art of conversation. There are way too many of us brothers out there that, once again, the show I was watching, all these guys were lined up and maybe one or two of them could actually articulate what they were looking for. And that's why I watch the show, because it gives me fodder for what I do. And it keeps me understanding what this new dating scene is like. And I discovered to this one, Kenny, there's a lot of men and women. There's a lot of men and women that can't actually articulate what they're looking for in a mate. When they ask simple questions, so what's your deal breakers? I
totally agree, Brad. I totally agree. I see it a whole lot on social media. I see a lot of, and I'm just speaking for the men. I see a lot of us, we're not good at articulating and getting our point across to what we really, how we want to express ourselves. Absolutely. And I see it a lot.
I see it a lot.
And that's something we got to do better at. And I'm speaking to men. Because women want to know exactly what the hell you thinking and what the hell you want. And if you can't express that,
Kenny, even if they don't agree with you,
right?
Kevin Samuels was hated and loved at the same time.
He damn sure was.
They kept tuning in because
he was. You're right, and I didn't agree with a lot of Kevin Samuels stuff, but I didn't agree with his delivery. Put it that way, with Kevin Samuels. But I understood a lot of what he was saying. It made sense.
I loved him.
But I think a lot of men that followed him, though, they weren't for them to be so Kevin Samuels heavy, though, their lives wasn't high value. And so that's what that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, in my opinion. Right. But Kevin Samuels was very articulate in getting his point across. If you didn't agree with it, like you said, you may not like what he said, but he said what he said, and he was able to deliver it, and he had a following. So I get it.
Yeah. Toria says, I'm sorry, let me get this in here. She says, I said a whole weekend that was crazy to me that they would leave town with a serial killer. And again, some of them come up missing, Miss Toria. Mm-hmm. Our generation is a man having a clean place and cooks, has a good job, and that's great. And that's where, again, earlier, Kenny said I should stop using the term toxic male and replace it with traditional male, because I'm a traditional male where my house is always clean. You know, everything has a place, everything is order, and I can cook better than most women, and everything is in order. So that's what I'm used to. Texting, people don't know how to have a conversation. Right. I agree. We definitely lost the art of having a conversation. Definitely. And Craig says, I agree, Black. A lot of men can't express what they want in a woman. A lot of women can't express what they offer to a man, in my opinion. And Craig, that's why I watched the popping the balloon thing, because it's so funny to me.
It is funny to me too,
Black. Island show on TV because they're just dating and they're just hooking up, and you wonder why these relationships don't last, because one on the other can't truly articulate what they're actually looking for. You know, and so it's a whole different world out there. So,
and then this too, Black, on that pop the balloon, they be popping a balloon for some trivial.
He too short. Or I don't like
short, or I didn't like the shoes he had.
Yeah, on, you know,
like what the hell? What? Really? This is where we are when it comes to dating.
That's where we are. That's where we are.
Wow. Anyway,
all right. At number 17, as on the survey of what gets women hot and bothered, this lady says, I came home to him washing and folding laundry when I didn't ask or express or need to do laundry. And I didn't put this part in there, but she said, my vagina is throbbing.
So I'm laughing like a bug, because because I know how I am. I'm very particular about laundry. I freaking hate clothes piling up. I do not like laundry being in the dryer. Get that shit out and fold it up, and I'm cool with doing that. I was cool with that. Peace be upon my ex-wife. I love Bridget Annette. She's going on the other side. Her ass did not like doing laundry at all. So I did the laundry. I folded the clothes. I do too, and
I love it.
But I think she found that sexy. But I don't know. I never asked her, but that just was something I did. I don't know.
How I know that's true. Every woman I've ever been with in a serious relationship, when I'm doing laundry, they literally sat and watched me, because I fold everything, even their panties, because I've watched women, when you hand them their panties, they just stuff them in a drawer. They all balled up and shit. And I'm looking like, now you know better than that, because when you pull out my drawer, people think I've been in the military. I have a drawer just for socks, just for my belts and ties. And so my underwear are folded. And so I do realize women found that sex. And I find laundry very relaxing.
Yes, very I relaxing. Agree.
Yep. Sound of the dryer, and then the smell when the clothes is coming out. And like you said, Kenny, you have to fold them when they first come out. Don't let wrinkles set in.
Right.
And you have nice, neat little piles. And now come get the least you can do, sweetheart, is put that shit away. Because if you don't tell her, she'll let that sit on the couch for days.
That shit will sit there forever. Yeah, you know? we definitely Capricorns, because we damn so got that shit alike.
Order.
I need order. I need order in my crib for sure.
I have done an experiment with women, my wife included. I've let it sit there for 4 or 5 days, and finally I will say, baby, you just gonna keep walking past. All you gotta do is put them in the drawer.
Yep.
Like, really? And I don't want to get him in trouble. I'm just gonna say my boy, he deals with that. He be livid because he get off work, do the laundry, fold the clothes, and he told me the exact same thing. The clothes sometimes will sit there for days until he can't take it no more, and then he'll finally tell his wife, "Well, you just put the clothes away, baby. I done already done everything." Victoria, you says, now, first time I seen Pop the Balloon thing was 5 years ago on a friend of mine had a gay network. Now you said network has a Pop the Balloon. So yeah, they actually have an actual series show. It became so popular. I didn't know that it was a gay thing, that it started with the gay. Well, I don't know if it started with gay people, but I hadn't seen the gay version, but I would watch it because that would be funny as shit. So now I'm gonna have to go look for that, Victoria. But yeah, I first saw it maybe about a year ago from TikTok, and it was like little videos, and it was so popular that YouTube bought the rights to it and made a show out of it. And so there's an actual YouTube show that I watch where it's the same lady host, and she had men and women, and it's just funny. It's something to do to kill a time. Victoria says, I hate the vacuum, and hubby, Miss Toria, vacuum is very relaxing. Laundry is very relaxing. Doing the dishes, I've always had a dishwasher. I use my dishwasher to store dishes in. I never wash my dishes in a dishwasher. I actually enjoy washing them by hand. I'm old school, traditional, where first of all, you'll never see a bunch of dishes in my sink. The most dishes you ever will see in my sink is a plate and a cup, this, that, and other, because it's just me. But again, I put a little, if I cook something, I wash as I go. I put bleach in the water. I put everything up. My kitchen is never messy. I close my kitchen down at 9 o'clock, even for myself. I get everything I think I'm going to need, and I transfer it. So in the morning, there might be whatever plate or dish, but I have no dishes in my sink whatsoever. Anyway, so I love, and vacuuming is very relaxing. When I get off of this show, I got to run a vacuum across my because it's nothing like I got to shave my head and vacuum. And when the whole room is clean, brand new sheets on the bed. And when I put my bedding sheets, I spray women perfume on my sheets and my pillows so that when I lay back, I like the smell of feminine scent. Since I can't get no pussy, that's the closest I'm going to get to it right now. So,
stop it, Black. Stop.
No, when I swore off of getting pussy right now.
I we know you on your whole hiatus. We know that.
Right now. Okay.
We know that.
And I bought this thing, y'all, called a sound sleep machine, which has 30 sounds to sleep with. And so tonight, I've been sleeping with for about 4 or 5 days now. I get great. It has the thunder, the rain, the train tracks, all this kind of stuff. So my sheets are gonna be clean tonight. I'm drinking. Oh, and I went out and I bought me a slab of ribs. I got me some potato salad. So I'm gonna be doing my own little thing, but cleaning is very, very sensual. Greg says, brother, I can do laundry, although it's not my favorite thing to do. Cooking is my thing. I love cooking.
You know what's funny? I mean, it's funny. We brothers, I think we all cook. That's part of what we do is cook.
Yep.
I think most brothers, and I enjoy cooking. Again, I'm not no chef by no means. I can cook a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I do enjoy cooking. But I also I want to have some structure and order, and I want to have some cleanliness because that makes me rest better.
That's a deal breaker for me. That's a deal breaker for me. If hygiene and order and structure, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, for real.
I couldn't be with a woman that's messy
that you got stuff all over the place, and I'm stepping over shoes, clothes, and I can't rock with you on, because in my opinion, if I'm stepping over all that bullshit,
Tori says,
go ahead, Black.
No, finish your thought, brother.
Oh, I want to say if I'm stepping over all that kind of shit in a woman and you just kind of messy, that's definitely a red flag for me, that you may not be as clean as you should be.
Exactly.
Physically.
Exactly.
So
that's a deal breaker for me. Tori says, when we first got together, I had a bad habit of washing the dishes and sometimes left one cup and plate and drain board. My husband hated that. He argued with me about that, but stopped that years ago. And she says, you need to try Cedric the Entertainer barbecue sauce. It's so. I didn't know he had.
He got a sauce. I didn't know Cedric the Entertainer got a sauce. I know Bobby Brown got a sauce that's dope.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, you didn't know that, brother?
I didn't know that either.
No, Bobby Brown is that dude on that pit, but he got a sauce that's dope.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Check it out.
I told my coworkers, I was telling them how I make my barbecue sauce. So anyway, that's a whole.
But yours is probably better, because I already know you that dude in the kitchen.
I love
that marry me chicken that I got.
Man,
but I'm about to go. But I'm about to go off meat though. After tomorrow, I'm about to be off meat.
For how long?
I'm gonna do 60 days and see how it goes from there.
That's what's up.
See what
she says. Said sauces. I'm gonna look for it, Toria, because I got to add that to my pantry. Got to have it. All right, let's go to number 18. We
didn't get through all these. I ain't think.
Yeah, that's what I said. We coming on through. 18. He had only been to my apartment once, and the second time he came over, he bought a big bag of tools to fix my ceiling fan because he said it was squeaky. So sexy. I think this one kind of is somewhat of a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. I think women like a handyman.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
they do.
Having said that, they have to also be attracted to that said handyman, and listen to the story. She said he had only been to my apartment once. The fact that he came back a second time, you were clearly already attracted to him. And the reason why I'm making that distinction, there are a lot of women out there that have Mr. Fix-Its that they have no intention of fucking.
You right.
They keep that dude around to fix their car. They have to get furniture moved, and they have no interest, and they don't find him sexy at all. It's just, and a lot of times, a lot of these women, it's that older guy who got a truck and shit, and he can fix it up. And let me call Mr. Sam over here, and they ain't thinking about giving him no pussy. So,
and this is where, fellas, you gotta figure out where you fit in.
Boom.
You can't let yourself be used by these women.
Being that Mr. Fix-It, without she's just using you. I wrote an article some 30 years ago called, The Five-Headed Man, and I asked the question. The very article starts with, how many men does it take to screw in a light bulb? And I said 5. Women have 5 different types of roles that they require, and one of those is Mr. Fix-It. And Kenny is right. Don't be no damn fool now that you want to just, she wanted Mr. Fix-It me right. Now it's all right to be Mr. Fix-It, and I'm not saying you can't fix things for a friend.
Right.
But I'm saying
that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. I want to make sure I clarify this. I want to say this to the men. I'm speaking to the men. If you know that you're digging this woman, you're attracted to her, but she's not giving you any rhythm, and you can tell that she only called you for certain times for certain things, don't be that dude. Don't be the dude that's gonna get used. Don't get played. And again, now if you cool with y'all friendship, what it is and what it is, cool. I'm not saying that's different.
Absolutely.
But if you interested and you want more, and you think that being that dude for her is going to get you in the door, but she only calls you for when she needs you,
right?
Don't get played.
because Craig lays out the other roles that sometimes women have. As he said, a different man for every occasion. A fix-it man, a foodie date man, a mechanic man, later pipe man, etc. Exactly. And sometimes I've been in relationships where I was the break open in case of emergency guy.
Right. I think every man, Black, you just went there. And I'm not saying I've been in that position where I feel like I knew my dumb ass didn't realize it, but yeah, dude, you were just only when she didn't have nothing else going on, you were that dude.
I'm telling you.
Because in my mind, even I was feeling her and wanted something more.
Right.
But she didn't look at me that way.
So I'll tell you something real quick. Craig said, Tori says, Craig, you was reading my mind. I was going to say that women have a different man period. I wrote an article about this 30 years ago, and it still rings true. But I was in many cases and still have been, if I had allowed myself, I was the break open in case of emergency. I was the guy that Black always got his shit together. And if time go by and I can't find nobody else,
I can fall on him. Yeah,
he's going to
fall. You the fallback guy. You the fallback
dude. He's financially stable and he's got an education and he got his own place and this, that, and the other. So I'm gonna always keep him here, and I'm gonna give him just enough of a hint that we might could do something. But meanwhile, she going out to your point, Craig and Toria, and calling in, Mr. What I call a Mandela, the dude that he dumb as a motherfucking rock. She wouldn't be seeing him in public, but he's who she called late at night to pin her legs clear behind her ears.
Yep.
I'm talking about beating the living breaks off that pussy. But with me, it'll always get intellectual, No, I don't want to mess up our friendship. This, that, you nasty, no good bitchy.
Yep. Because we all been in that position. Especially men, we've been played. It is what it is, and you just got to chalk it up to the game. But again, but you gotta figure that shit out, and don't be a dummy. You gotta move on eventually. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Number 19, the way he backed into a parking space perfectly without even adjusting. Smooth, confident, and quiet about it. I don't know why that did something to me, but it absolutely did. This is another one that I'm not going to.
I don't get, because I know women can't drive worth shit. So that's the only reason why I can say. I know some women gonna see that and gonna be mad at me, but you know what? I don't give a f. Y'all can't drive worth shit.
I agree.
And that's the only male chauvinist remark you will ever hear from Kendrick, the sports guy. Against women. Y'all can't drive worth shit.
Why a man backing in is sexy? Go ahead, woman. Whoever that was, I'm going to move on from that one to number 20. Number 20 says, hold on. Okay, how come it? Okay. I once had a boyfriend wink at me from the other side of a party. Like, not particularly flirty, just acknowledging that he was aware of where I was and he liked me. Made me get all flustered, and it was such a little gesture. I like this one, y'all. I like this one too, because this one can be intentional, and I didn't know that it was one that really was on a woman's list of making them hot and bothered. But this was one that was intentional. I go back to the beginning of the show. I have mastered the art of flirting from across a room, because I don't work the room. I went out.
I don't either.
Cats I fuck with, they work the room. Guys I roll with right now, what was it, a month and a half ago? My nephew was up here and we was at a thing. I don't work the room. Going from place to place and seeing the set, I get in one spot. But from my spot, I survey what's out there and I pick my prey. I told y'all I'm an old lion and I hunt the lame. I hunt them. I look for weakness. The way lions hunt, They spend a lot of time lying in the watching and waiting and looking at that prey. And that's how I hunt these bitches down.
You know how I hunt them, Brother Black. Since we talk about hunt them, I do hunt them with my eyes and my voice. That's how I hunt them.
That's what's up.
I do find eye contact, and I do look, and then I put that voice on them.
I can see that.
I do that.
Voice. So from across the room, I catch a look.
Yeah,
and
I catch the look. Yeah.
To Toria's point, I don't stare. You have to do the right amount of look, so you don't stare too long. And then
I stare. I ain't gonna lie. I stare.
I don't do the stare thing. I'm gonna do another movie reference. Clint Eastwood got a movie called In the Line of Duty, where he's a FBI agent protecting the president, and he's hitting on another agent. And there's a scene in the movie where he's an asshole. He's got this acerbic wit. He's an old crotchety, and he gets on the agent's nerve, and he's sitting on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and she's walking away. He says some real slick shit to her, and then he says to herself, he says, "She looked back. I got her." Basically, I'm paraphrasing. She's walking, and he said, come on, give me that little look." She gets all the way down, and then she turns and looks, and then he goes, and he smiles. He knew he had her in that moment. And I use that same principle when I'm in a big crowded space. I find somebody across the room, I give them that little look. Now I'm not a winker. I don't wink.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't wink. But my thing is when I know I got them is when I give a little smile. That's when that smirk comes. So if I see something, I catch them right, and I'll smile. I know in that moment now, she see me. I see you.
Right.
Now it's a matter of like that old lion catching you out in the bush.
Boy, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm watching that bitch at that point. Now I'm seeing how many drinks you get down in her gut.
There you go.
I'm waiting on that opportunity.
You go. There you go.
Hey, you have to. It's timing. You have to swoop in before the hyena swoop in. So shit, and then you drag your meal off to eat alone. Don't eat that meal in public.
But I would say this too, Black. With us being in our mid-50s, we a lot of women they trying to hunt us down too. Real talk.
We ain't the hunters no more. We the prey.
I mean, especially our age, our generation, because they kind of digging the older, the mature, the gray, and all that. Believe me, they be all up in our inbox too.
Which is why sometimes I recognize when I'm the rabbit. I know when to run away, and sometimes I know when they got their skins jamming Sometimes you don't want to be caught.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
You know what I'm talking about. You know some of these fights. There's some pieces you don't want to be.
You don't want to. Oh man, you know what? You got me hurt now. You got me hurt. You right? I'm like, yo, what the hell? No, I don't want that. Hell no. No, I'm good. Let me get my ragged ass knees and my ankles over here and sit my ass down somewhere. I'm good.
I'm trying to tell you. Tori says, "Hey, now I'm an excellent driver." Tori says, "She says, hey, I'm an excellent driver. And matter of fact, in my 30s, taught defensive driving for school. That's it. Bad drivers to school judges.
Miss Tori, stop it. And I love you to death. You ain't no great driver. I love you. I ain't never met a woman that.
I would say, even if you're a great driver, you're an anomaly. There are some women great drivers, but by and large, you might be one of those exceptions, Miss Toria.
Miss Toria, I love you to death. And you know that. You know your good brother Kendrick ain't gonna ever put you out on.
He ain't going.
You ain't no great driver. Somebody told you wrong.
Wow.
And I love you, Miss Tori. You know I do. She probably gonna come at me. I already know she gonna come at me. I'm just waiting on it.
Craig says number 20 could be twofold. It would be a flirty, I see you, or it could be a stalkish, I'm watching your ass. Damn. That's why, Craig, you have to be careful. That's why I say I don't wink and I don't stare too long. She said, you two young whippersnappers got plenty. Damn. Oh, man.
Oh, Miss Tori. That's my, hey, we got love for you. Baby girl.
There's about 3 more, but we're gonna skip through this real quick. We ain't gonna talk about number 21.
Okay.
Rolling up your sleeves. Why some women find that sexy, not sure. Number 22, working on something physical like a car repair.
Oh yeah, that's obvious.
We've kind of established that. Number 23 was when they pull your chair closer to them. I don't know if it counts, but it's not always in a flirty way. I just absolutely love it. Number 20, yeah, that's that. I thought that was interesting. Which again, we talked a little bit about that dominance. 24, a YouTube video of someone making sourdough. The way they handled the dough made me feel some type of way. Okay, you was just horny.
Yeah, yo, that's totally different.
This one was interesting. My personal trainer yelling at me. She found that they got all hot and bothered. That's a psychological one I may come back to because that one is interesting. Number 26 is when my boyfriend very casually opens my hair. And again, this one, I think it's got to be cultural because as a black man, you don't fuck with a black woman's hair.
No, Black. I give you some pushback on it.
Tell me, because make me see it a different way.
No, I think that I'm just speaking from my experience. I think they love for us to play in their hair.
I got a question for you. The only time I thought that was acceptable is when I helped them wash their hair, which that's old traditional now. You don't see that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you're talking about what in that sense?
Washing and scratching.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I agree with you there. Oh, because in that sense, I've been told that a lot of women prefer a male hairstylist because they say men have, I don't know, better touch or how we scratch their scalp or some shit. And I definitely have got some real good sex when I've helped my woman, like you said, scratch her scalp when I'm shampooing, and they love that shit. But
they love that.
Yeah, but I was taking this as she says when my boyfriend casually opens my hair. I'm thinking she talked about having her hair up in a clip or something, and she said before she knew it, he took, because that to me was like a narcissistic thing where he's saying, I prefer your hair down.
And now that you put it that way, yeah, I could see it from that. But that's not what I took it from initially. I was thinking from like, yo,
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But you and I both know no black woman who done spent $200-$300 on her hair.
No, you better not fuck her hair up.
Hell, when they first get their hair done, they don't even sleep on their hair. I done seen them sleep with their motherfucking head like this.
You best believe it. You best believe it for sure.
Craig says you can touch a black woman's hair in certain situations. Lay those situations out for me, Craig. Now, fucking yes, but I'm talking about just playing in her hair. I think you'll get cursed out if you reached over to a typical black woman and just start.
Yeah, you would, especially if she just got it done. She ain't trying to get you to fuck her hair up.
That's a no.
Yeah,
so
Greg, a hell no.
Tell me the situations you mean, which brings us to the final one. It's when they grab your face in one hand, like I feel so small and precious. So this women are saying grabbing a woman's face in one hand.
In one hand. I could see that being sexual. I could see that.
I get that.
I get it too.
I get that. Pulling them in for a tender kiss.
A tender kiss. Yeah, I definitely get that.
I get that
for sure.
You know, especially if they run in their mouth and wait a minute, sweetheart.
Right. How you know right.
Saying? You know?
Right.
Now, on the flip side of that, when you grab it's also sexy when you grab a bitch by a throat. Wait a minute now. Ladies, don't be triggered by this. It can be very sexual. There's two ways to grab them by their throat. You can do the front and the back. You know, you grabbing them by the front. You know, if you get it, you know, because a little sadomasochism ain't never hurt nobody. And then doggy style, like I said, you grab the bitches by the scruff of their neck.
But you know, and we're talking about this, but it's about knowing your partner too.
Knowing your partner,
and y'all knowing each other's body language and sexual language and all that. So yeah. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. I gotta add one thing to it. Absolutely. I gotta add one more thing about knowing your partner though. Craig says in intimate moments, I used to date a woman who loved for me to rub her head and stroke her head. Okay, I get that. I get that too, for sure.
I get that. Intimate moments. Now, Kenny said you said about knowing your partner too. Now, men, this is as we close on this show and a little education too. Sometimes being a nice guy, Craig, your point was right on time. I wish Tasha would attest to this. Mick Mac will attest to this. There's just as many women who like that stroking. There's Tasha's out there. I feel like I can say this with 100% certainty. That whole handling with the kid glove, and some of these women, they want you to snatch them mustard draws off. Yes, indeed. And when I say snatch, I'm not talking about gentle. I'm talking about snatch them mustard draws off. I'm talking about pushing this bitch down, reach under it, snatch them mustard draws off, tear them whole way.
That's true. You're right. You're right. Because some women have some draws. They have some draws that they want you to tear them suckers off.
I was about to end with a story.
You're right.
My partner, I ain't gonna say no names, one of his baby mamas, me and her was flirting. And I was talking all kinds of cash shit about what I would do to her. Mm-hmm. So she came up and showed up at my apartment. And she was in there for 2 hours. 2 hours, folks. And we talked, and we even drank, and we laughed. 2 hours go by, and I thought I was making so much good progress. This was early in the morning. This is 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it got to be one little after one. She says, okay, I guess I'm ready to leave. It's like, I thought she was going to stay, blah, blah, blah. No, I need to get on back and blah, blah, blah. She left. She went back and told my partner. She said, he wasn't what I thought. Her exact word, she said, I wanted him to snatch my drawers off.
But how come she didn't communicate that? That's on her.
And that's a lesson. But that I'm one of those people that you only gonna get me once. Shame on me. I was mad, and to this day, she's one that got away. I never ever got that pussy. She's one that lives in infamy. I'm gonna go to my grave knowing that I didn't get that pussy.
Oh boy!
But I learned a valuable lesson that day. That whole nice guy waiting, to your point, Kenny, waiting on see, and that's why I said what I said. From that moment on, I recognized that there are the types, Craig, that in those intimate moments they want you to be gentle, but there's far more of them that want you to snatch them mustard draws off and stuff yourself and deep in that pussy as you can go. And from that moment on, I've been snatching drawers off.
boy. Welcome to the mail room. MALE. If you just coming in, welcome to the mail room. Leave your drawers at the door because they're gonna get snatched off.
I don't take drawers off quietly anymore. I've never taken drawers off in a peaceful way after that incident.
Oh man,
I get them drawers off, they come off hard, fast, and in a hurry. Oh well.
Look at Miss Tori. You know, she laughing at
us. When you lay back and I reach for the drawers, I'm pulling them off.
So it got to be some drawers that you don't want no more. So you better wait.
How much you paid for them? They could be the little Philly kind. I snatch them off. If I flip you over, I jake them drawers down.
Welcome to the mail room again. MALE. You have joined the mail room with Brother Black and your good brother Kendrick. We're giving you the mail perspective. Yeah, you got to be careful. That'll have you standing in front of a judge. That'll have you standing in front of a judge in a suit, like, Your Honor, with your hands behind your back, Your Honor.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do?
I'm asking for mercy on the court.
I'm gonna throw myself on the mercy of the court. Go sit in my place. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He came over and we was drinking. And she smoked a blunt, and she was giving me some head, so I snatched them off. You know
boy.
Send that man home.
This is what you get. This is what you
that quiet.
And this is what you can expect from the mail room. MALEROOM, from your good brother Lee Black and from your good brother Kendrick, the sports guy. It's gonna be more of these shows, believe that.
Coming sometime for this year's out, Hustle is going to be bringing you the mail room. MALE. Miss Hustle acting a damn fool.
Acting a damn fool. And more of Lee acting a fool to me.
That's my brother that's going to keep me on the straight and narrow. But we are going to cover all kinds of topics. So I definitely thank you for popping in, because all this month, when I have an opportunity, I'm going to call this my Thinking Out Loud series. And if you don't know, the Real Talk for Real Men show, we're on hiatus for a full month. I'm giving everybody a good summer little break. She said, this has been Real Talk for Real. We always going to keep it real. But this is a precursor of what's to come. We are shaping up and trying to line things together for me and that man right there to do something special, hopefully in this social media space, and hopefully fill a gap for what's not out there. So I appreciate you. So look for us. So when I pop in a show idea and you see that topic where it's going to be Thinking Out Loud series, my brother, hopefully he'll pop in, but every one of the family members are invited. But I wanted to make sure that I was giving everybody a nice little break. It's hot. People are getting ready for vacations. So we're taking a month off. So I'm going to be popping in, doing this thing. And whenever possible, me and my brother from another, we're going to do this.
We're doing it.
So that you guys get a feel for us.
Yeah.
Craig says, I'm not going to lie, this is my favorite line.
Well, thank you, Brother Craig. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. Just share this to your social media platforms. Send it out and let them know, man. Y'all come check out Real Talk for Real Men. Come check out the show, man. And again, me and Brother Black, we're gonna simulate what the nightcap does.
Right.
And again, it's not copying, but we're gonna simulate what Brother Shannon and Ocho Cinco does, because we're gonna tackle different topics. Obviously, you guys know I'm a sports guy mostly, but I can speak on numerous topics. Brother Black he's that dude. He can speak on anything. But we got the totally different personalities, just like Shannon and Ocho Cinco, that we're gonna come together and we're gonna make it the mail room. MALE. We're gonna deliver you the mail room from our perspective, and we're gonna be talking on perspectives. And I think And me and Brother Black, we gonna probably disagree on some shit, and that's okay. But we got love for each other, and our personalities are a little bit different, but we also a lot alike too.
I love him.
So,
that's my brother. I love him.
So we're gonna entertain. You gonna be entertained.
You're gonna be entertained. Nothing else. You're gonna be entertained. You guys, even for this month, if you want something you want me to talk about, please
speak on. Yeah, definitely.
Because there is no topic, that's taboo for me. So we appreciate you, and I just want to make sure that we are taking note. This weather has been crazy. There are people have died.
Yes, yeah, and I'm at Texas. And let me say this real quick. I am in Texas.
Thank you for mentioning that. That would be my prayers.
Let me say this real quick. I'm in Texas, and there's been some serious flooding in the south part of Texas, the Kerrville, Austin area, where they're still looking for people. It's been some devastation for the flooding in that area. And on a serious note, we definitely want to send peace, love, and light and prayers to those in that area. We are celebrating the holidays, July 4th. But there's some people right now that's still hurting, and they're looking for their loved ones. So we definitely don't want to take that lightly at all. So if you can, just send a prayer up for those people in the South Texas area, because they're dealing with some devastation right now, and for sure. So definitely want to put that out there too.
Definitely. And I want to encourage the rest of you guys, enjoy what's left of the weekend. We know it goes by so quick. So thank you so much for sharing this little time with us, with me especially. I don't have anything to do. Like I said, enjoy what's left of your holiday weekend. Get some rest. Stay cool, hydrated. Call loved ones just to say, hey, check on each other. And then keep checking me out. Keep checking Kenny out. We appreciate you. And on Monday, we will be on. Are we? No, we're not doing a show.
No. We off this Monday. If y'all looking for us, we won't be on this Monday, but we'll be back next.
Even more reason I'm glad I did the show. So I wanted to see you guys and do my thing. So love you. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. And again, keep others in your prayers. Peace out. You've enjoyed the mailroom, I hope. With Kenny and myself. Have a good one.
Peace, love, and light.